agree.
Should I move? I'm so sorry. Should I move? Okay, I'll just sit down and not do anything. Are we with masks?
I think when you get up to sing, you don't need to.
Cantor, should I take off the mask?
We have each other's co-biddies.
There is the text there because I forgot.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Nice of you to join us, Rabbi. You might notice some new faces on the bima. We are so excited to welcome back Della Costa, our shamus, to my left. And we also have a surprise special guest to light our candles tonight and join me, which I'll explain in a moment. But on to the announcements.
Well, those were great announcements.
Okay.
We got to retrain Dell. He might have forgot with this COVID, right? Because we are reopening on April 16th, which I think is next Friday.
It is.
And people have to go to the website and they have to register. And my understanding is, I think people have responded. I think it's full. So don't get disappointed. That's a good thing. People want to come back. The 23rd, sign up. And then after that, we will have Beatles Shabbat, where our ability to host people will be much larger because it will be in the parking lot the last Friday of April. What's going to happen on that Beatles Shabbat?
The best Shabbat of your life. I mean, you
Other
just have
than
to
tonight.
You just have other than tonight. You just have to come and you have sign up and join us for that. It's gonna be like it'll be like a really cool picnic experience. So like you'll bring a blanket and some lawn chairs. And you'll have a spot with your family's name on it, and then you'll be able to enjoy as Shabbat comes in with this beautiful music of our Shabbatones, and it'll be a pretty nice experience. And this is all kind of like an evolving process. So even if you couldn't get in for services next week because we're full, don't give up on trying. Keep trying to sign up for the coming weeks because we'll keep reevaluating what we're able to do.
Great. All right. Now, in between the end of the month and tonight, we have April 18th. We are honoring Jackie Rosen, and it's a virtual fundraiser from synagogue to Senate. And the information is on the website, but it's going to be fabulous. Who's going to be appearing? I heard some celebrities are going to be on there.
This is probably the most star-studded event near to me it's ever done.
All right, so you're on it and I'm on it. What other stars?
We have Piff the Magic Dragon
All right,
from
Piff.
America's Got Talent. We've got David Copperfield. We've got Jimmy Kimmel. We've got, let's see.
The star from Hamilton.
The star from Hamilton in Chicago. The guy who plays Hamilton, Miguel Cervantes. And let's see.
And we have our honoree, Jackie, and, and members of the synagogue. So
Senator Rosen, yeah, it's
That's
gonna
right.
be pretty incredible. So, and we're gonna make it really easy for you to log in as well. So, not only can you get in just how you're watching it now on your YouTube Live, that's gonna be one option. You also can just tune in on your TV on channel 14, or if you want it in HD, 1014, at 6 o'clock that night, which is next Sunday.
if you have Cox Cable. Is
If you
that
have
it?
Cox Cable,
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, public broadcast.
That's wonderful. All right. Adult education, we're back after a brief respite, so please go to the Temple website to register and sign up. Social Justice Study Group on April 13th and 27th at 7 p.m. This month we will be discussing So You Want to Talk About Race. The class is led by Rabbi Olshine, and she is also doing on Tuesdays at 5:30, Be Your Own Director of Spiritual Health. And the program is called Soul Doctor. And then I am continuing part 3 of my Talmud for beginners. We're going to have to get rid of the term beginners. These guys, we have about 40 people studying with me for Talmud. It's going great. That will pick back up on April 21st. And then after we pick back up on Talmud that same night, we are bringing on Zoom the accidental Talmudist Sal Litvak for Compelling Conversations. This guy is a movie producer in Hollywood, found his Judaism again and decided to study Talmud. Now he has 1 million followers in dozens of countries. He's very entertaining. Every night at 6 p.m. he studies the page of the Talmud of the day, and it's free, and He's got a million followers. So he's going to be our
And
guest.
he's not even on TikTok.
And
so
he's
it's
not on TikTok.
exciting.
All right. And what about religious school?
Religious school. So I'm getting a little sad. It's like going to be bittersweet. We only have 3 weeks left before the end of our school year, believe it or not. So we do have school this Sunday in person, and also there's a virtual option as usual. The next 3 Sundays and the next 3 Tuesdays, and on May 2nd will be our final day together. We'll have some pretty cool events for you to join us on.
All right. All right, Ricky, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Don't we have a special person
We
to
do.
join
So
us?
I don't know if you guys know this, but I mean, some of you think like I have a pretty nice singing voice, and it's a long road to get to the kind of ability that I've been able to, I'm very grateful for, but it is not it's like working out. Like you have to keep working on it. So pretty much every Friday before services, I have my amazing teacher. Can I call you doctor now?
Yeah, she's a doctor.
I've never announced you as Dr. Karine Hochman. So she works with me and to keep my voice in shape. And she's also an Israeli American, so she kind of, it's like singing lesson boot camp. If you want to be part of that, you can contact her for voice lessons, or Hebrew lessons, whatever you want.
So if she works with me, I'll sound like you? Is that possible?
It's possible.
Nes
Yeah.
gadol hayapo? Maybe?
But anyway, so she was here warming me up, and I said, well, you're still here, so why don't you do the opening song and light the candles with us, because I'd like to honor her with that, and or she can honor us with her beautiful voice. So I'm going to call her up to begin our service on page 142 as we welcome in the Shabbat angels. Shalom Aleichem. And for anyone that's worried, we are both vaccinated. We're going to turn to page 120 to light the Shabbat candles. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary, both physical and virtual, in need. All who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. I hope you enjoyed that little treat. Or I should say that big treat, because that's a big voice.
We continue in our prayer books on page 125. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time, contain the retreat of the hours and days from the grasp of frantic life. Let me learn to pause, if only for this day. Let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. On this day, Shabbat, abide. Continue with the Lachadodi, page 138.
Lecha dodi, likrot kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha dodi, likrot kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi, likrot kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela, likrot Shabbat lechu v'nilcha, ki mekor ha'beracha, merosh mikedem nesocha, sof ma'aseh b'machashava techila. Lecha dodi, likrot kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela. We rise to greet the Shabbat bride. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola. Toch emunei am segula, boi chala. Lecha dodi, likrot kala, penei Shabbat, nekabela.
We remain standing as we turn to page 146 for the Baruch Hu. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and seasons glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows.
Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamidim lo chaleinu leolam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, hamari v'aravim.
As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me, did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery.
Al tasir mimenu leolamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Vaed.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. May be seated.
We continue with Ve'ahavta, page 154.
All you B'nai Mitzvah students, we want to hear you. All right? Aren't they coming? Are they coming next week?
I hope so, yeah. We hope to have them. We have special oneg bags for them. Like, we're going to actually, it's going to be like a treat because they get to come to services, and then another treat for
All right.
their oneg.
So practice up. Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל הכנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אליהם. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, o sefeleh. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Malechutecha ra'u vanecha bokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam zeli anu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Who is like you? Adonai, who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Page 160, the Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, ve'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. 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 A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night. Eternity utters a day. We rise for the tefillah on page 164. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. We continue in silent devotion through page 181, using the prayers on the page or the prayers within your heart. When you have completed your prayers, please be seated. We ask at this time that you enter the names of those you are saying prayers for that are in the bed of illness, that need our heartfelt Mishaberach prayers.
So as you put the names of your loved ones in our chat, we think of so many people that have touched our hearts who are in need of our prayers. People who struggle with physical illness or matters of the heart or mind, struggles with addiction too. We ask that God be with them in their time of need to bring them hope and healing, that they might return restored into life. And to those who are caregivers, we ask that God imbue them with patience and continued love to minister to those they care so much about, to let them know that they are appreciated and are doing God's work here on earth. So I share these names that have been submitted to the synagogue for the Mishaberach. Dolores Starr, the Jones family, Sarah Devorah Bat Miriam, Doris Acklin, Malcolm Doctors, Pamela Hodges Falk, Carmen Lippman, Julie Medlock, David Weinstein, David Wartenberg, Roseanne Bledsoe, Sandy Horn, Toussaint, Henry Kronberg, Allison Marmer, Mark Youngman, Esther Youngman.
We also think of Jason Schneider, David Weinstein, Gert Mann, George Barnett, Jean Poussin, Donald Schwartz, Marianne Troco, Teresa Bertelli Ream, Clay Tarika, David Roth, Samuel Schatz, Bob Lieb, Harold Saperstein, Debbie Trudell, Ann Miller, Wendy Stanley, Katie Nelson, Jeremy Filer, Stuart Baker, Mindy Nanny, Ron Hildebrandt.
And I also think of my mom, Marge Axelrod, my sister Dina, and for all of our loved ones, this prayer goes out to all of them who we care so much about.
Renee Gilman and Jane Cranston. Mishaberach avotenu mekor abracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the one mountains before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Well, tonight is birthday Shabbat. We would like you to submit the names if it's your birthday and answer this question. What is a special life lesson you learned on a birthday? All right? So submit a name if it's your birthday and just a brief life lesson right into the chat. And while we wait for that, we are going to wish a very special birthday to Cornell Durant, who turned 98 last week. And not that it's a competition, but Sam Lionel turned 102
I showed
this
his
week.
picture to my dad, who doesn't know him,
Yeah.
because Lexi had posted a picture on Instagram. I said, "How old do you think this guy is?" And he goes, "I don't know, like 71, 72." I'm like,
Yeah.
102.
And two. I know.
Amazing.
God bless you, Sam. God bless you, Cornell. May you live to be, as they say, to 120. Please, God. So, do we have any birthdays?
I'm waiting for you to put names in. Let's see here. I don't see anything yet.
All right.
I know there's
They're
birthdays.
busy
Oh, wait, Bonnie Selleck. Okay,
they're
great.
busy celebrating, is
Yeah.
what it is.
Okay, here we go. Rich Krasner, Linda Huschkel, my cousin Michelle. And you asked for messages too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She said, I've learned that practicing gratitude every morning sets me up for a good day. You haven't met my cousin Michelle. She's pretty
No.
awesome.
No. But it occurred to me while we're standing here, we do have a birthday boy.
We do. He's right behind us.
That's right. Birthday boy, Dell.
Tax day birthday. Although tax day got moved this year again. Demetra McGowan.
Dell, come on up. You get to represent all the birthdays of the month of April. Here's a man who's a CPA whose birthday's April 15th. Go figure.
I bet you were really mad that they moved tax day.
That's right. So, Dell, now that they've moved your birthday to, what is it, May 17th or whatever it is. So, what is a life lesson, Dell, that you have learned?
That being close to Hashem and every day keeps you moving and keeps you level and keeps you well.
I mean, beautiful.
Jessica Hobkirk's son, Brendan. Let's see if there's anybody else on here. All right, that's all I got, but I'm sure there's more April
right,
birthdays.
so
I think,
Del-
we're celebrating Meyer Wertheimer's birthday tomorrow.
All right. So, for all these birthdays, Dell is the stand-in for all the April birthdays. And let's hear it. Let's give him a little Simon Tov Mazel Tov.
All right, here we go.
Simon
Simon Tov,
Tov,
Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov, Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov, Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simon Tov, Yehelanu. Sandra Mintz. I'm just like,
Mazel Tov. Good.
Mazel Tov, yes.
All right. Thanks, Dell.
Thank you.
It's Sandra's too?
Yep.
All right. Happy birthday, Sandra. So the Jewish calendar is filled with so many different emotions. Sometimes it's a roller coaster. Obviously, Shabbat is a time of joy, but on Wednesday it was Yom HaShoah, and we had a beautiful community program. But in preparation for the program, I unearthed a story by Elie Wiesel that is rarely performed or read, and it was found amidst the papers after his death. And when I read it, I was really vacillating whether I should read it or not because, as you know, I like to focus on the joy and not the oi. But there are times when we reflect upon the hard times, the saddest chapters of Jewish history. We become so much more appreciative of the good things. And sometimes there's a cautionary tale and lessons learned, things that may have happened or how we responded in those chapters of history where we say, never again shall we do that. And I think this is one such story that will tug at your heart, and perhaps it will inspire some conversation in your family, because I admit it's a difficult story to listen to, but it is one that Elie Wiesel wrote based upon actual challenges facing Jewish communities as they face the wrath and torment of the Nazis. Elisha Wiesel, in his introduction, also was troubled. I want to read you before we perform the story. When I read the story, I asked myself, Father, where is the IDF in this story? Furious with a holy fire that there were not there to prevent the tragic outcome and swearing that this will never again happen to our people. Where is Mordechai Anilowitz in this story, determined to take some of the enemy with him and show the world that Jewish blood is not cheap? And then Elisha says, the answer to these questions is one that I would not have considered as a younger man. Something about the deaths of powerless Jews that seems to demand a coda filled with the heroics of the Israeli army or the resistance fighters in the ghettos. My dad's point was that this is not the only way for Jews to be heroes. My father, Elie Wiesel, never carried a weapon, but he was a hero just the same. He fought with words. He fought by infusing his stories with hope. And if you want to understand how my dad prayed and not just why, let us let go of words and join him and the rabbi in this story and the Jewish people throughout the world in their synagogues as Shabbat begins. And we are swept up in the nigunim, the wordless melodies being sung as daylight fades into holiness. And now we perform the nigun. A ghetto somewhere in the east, during the reign of night, under skies of copper and fire. The leaders of the community, good people all, courageous all, fearing God and loving his law, came to see the rabbi who has cried and has searched darkness for an answer with such passion that he no longer can see. It's urgent, they tell him. It's more than urgent. It's a matter of life or death for some Jews and perhaps all Jews. Speak, says the rabbi. Tell me all. I wish not to be spared. This is what the enemy demands, says the oldest of the old Jews to the rabbi, who listens breathlessly. The enemy demands 10 Jews chosen by us and handed over to him before tomorrow evening. Tomorrow is Purim, and the enemy, planning avenge on Haman's 10 sons, will hang 10 of our own, says the oldest of the old Jews. And he asks, what are we to do, Rabbi? Tell us what to do. And his colleagues, brave people, though frightened, repeat after him, what are we to do, Rabbi? Tell us what to do. We are afraid, said the oldest of the old Jews. Afraid to make a decision, afraid to make the wrong decision. Help us, Rabbi. Decide for us and in our place. And And the rabbi, their guide, feels his knees weakening, the blood rushing to his face. His chest is ready to burst, and the room is turning and turning and turning around him. And so is the earth, and so are the skies, and soon he feels he will fall as falls the blind man, a victim of night and its prowlers. He demands an answer, says the oldest of the old Jews. The enemy demands an answer. Tell us what it must be. Your duty is to guide just as ours is to follow. The rabbi responds, leave me. I wish to be left alone. I must think, meditate. I must go to the source, explore the depth, and question the past. Come back later. I shall be waiting for you, I promise. Yes, I promise not to stay behind, not be spared. Left to himself, the rabbi goes to his bookshelves to consult the Rambam, who has foreseen all situations of all societies. And the Rambam, without hesitation, recites for him the immutable law of tradition, so harsh and so generous and so compassionate too. No community, even when besieged, may sacrifice one of its members. Rather perish together than hand over to the enemy, were he most implacable, one of its children. The rabbi of the ghetto understands, but refuses to accept. The law is beautiful, the law is luminous, but here we deal not with ideas nor with beauty, but with the destiny of a community, of a living community in Israel. And so the rabbi hears Rambam's response. I understand you are allowed to question and even refute my judgment. Though it is based on justice and law, you are allowed to expect another answer, a more human solution. Brother in Israel, I could not foresee your predicament. I, Moshe, son of Maimonides, can be of no help to you or yours. So obstinate and tenacious, the rabbi in the ghetto turns toward another teacher, some older and some younger than Rabbeinu Moshe, who knew much about Jewish suffering, but not enough about the cruelty of the enemy. He turns toward the sages of Babylon and Yavna, the legislatures of Bnei Brak and Fez, the codifiers of France and Spain, and all sadly shake their heads. Rabbi, poor rabbi, poor brother and colleague, if he, our teacher and guide, Moshe ben Maimon, if he cannot help you, how could we? The rabbi in the ghetto goes from one sage to another, asking again and again his burning question, whether I am to send 10 Jews to the gallows so as to save 1,000. Where is truth, Rashi? Where is justice, Rabbeinu Tam? Where is the way, Sadia Gaon? And all of the sages, all of the commentators give him the same answer. Forgive us, young brother. Forgive us, young colleague. We cannot help you, for our knowledge cannot replace your own. At last he comes to the Baal Shem Tov, the owner of the good name, the Hasidic master, the Besht. Faithful to his legend, he puts his arm around the rabbi's shoulder and smiles at him. And rather than talk, begins to sing to him a wondrous nigun.
Ya da da, ya da da, ya da da.
I want to open the gates of joy and make it flood the world below and the world above. And then the murderer will be stopped and the murder averted. He tries the best. The Baal Shem Tov, oh yes, he tries hard, but woe unto him and woe unto us. Joy refuses to enter his heart and refuses to penetrate his song. And he admits his failure. Forgive me, my young brother. I am unable to help you. Am I then to give up, shouts the rabbi in the ghetto? No. No, says the best. I must give up, not you. Be stronger than I am. You are more needed than I. The rabbi of the ghetto hears the voice of someone calling him with a caressing voice. It is Levi Yitzhak of Bernachev. A Jew is never alone, even when he dies. He does not die alone. When a Jew thinks he is lost, he must find himself within the community of Israel. It must be strengthened by him and not divided. If the enemy wishes to kill, let him kill, and do not tell him whom to kill. Your role, my young brother and colleague, the role of the rabbi, is to be with his Jews, not facing them. Walk with them, pray with them, or for them. Weep as they weep, share their anguish and their anger as you have shared their joy. See to it that the sacrifice imposed by the enemy unites his victims instead of separating them. Instead of separating them, as rabbi, there is only one call you must issue. Jews, stay together. Jews, stay together as Jews. And so the next morning, the rabbi receives the eldest of the ghetto and solemnly informs them of his decision. The enemy will kill, but his victims will not be our victims. We shall remain together, and together we shall confront the enemy as one person linked by the same breath. Let us recite the Vidui. All together, says the rabbi. And then the Shema, all together. Let the Almighty hear our appeal. Perhaps he doesn't know what is happening here below. Therefore, my friends, my brothers, we shall sing loudly, louder and louder. Do you hear me? We shall sing so loud that our song will fill heaven and earth. And he begins to teach them the nigun that the Baal Shem Tov had sung for him hours earlier. The enemy begins, but the nigun escapes him. But his victims, 1 minute before their death, aspire to immortality and achieve it with their song, which does not, cannot weaken, cannot die. It continues and will continue until the end of time and beyond. HaShoah, to remember, to not forget, and never again. We continue with Aleinu, ironically or perhaps pointedly, whose words mean Aleinu, it is upon us. It is upon us to affirm God, to change the world, and to seek out goodness wherever it may be. Aleinu. Those who are able, please rise. 586.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoye aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, vanachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. At this time, please submit the names for Kaddish for those you are remembering.
And so we recall the names of those who have died in the past few weeks: Esther Serrani, Michael Silver, Doris Ackland, Donna Huteg, Treva Draper, Bonnie Whitnelitz, Maggie Jones, Marilyn Ruiz, Gloria Myers, Rona Pesci, Beva Eisen, Tommy Schulman, Jay Freeman, Dick Cook, Arthur Ozzie Farber, Dennis Lardent, Steve Werschbaugh, and the father of Michael Spielman. And we recall the yahrzeits of Andy Alberton, Francis Balinson, Mark Bernstein, Ruth Bosick, Virginia Breen, Herman Burrell, Barnett Chaikin, Ruth Chasnick, Marilyn Cohen, Richard Cohen, Bernice Etkoff, Mary Ann Farrar, Ida Fisher, Helen Flatow, Gilbert Flores Sr., Fanny Glasser, Simi Green, Frank Greenswag, Patricia Hewson, Herman Kurtman, Lois Krashen, Jack Kreisman, Joseph Leboff, Marilyn Levine, Anna Linden, Christopher Maggio, Helen Marabos, Betty Moonen, Valerie Moonen, Jeffrey Olderman, Sherry Penniman, Christine Penrod, Sophie Payetsky, Jeanette Solomon, Irving Schultz, David Selnick, Conrad Shadlin, Harry M. Shiroff, Sam Siegel, Kate Silber, Amy Spector, Hermine Markowitz Stern, Harold Stralzer, Michael Spencer Thomas, Lillian Wasserman, Dorothy Weiss, Benno Wilton, Henry Wolf, Lily Yanofsky, William Roger Zuroff.
Leroy Califf, Yorkside.
Those who are able, please rise as we recite Kaddish 598. Yit Kadal, V'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, V'yalma Divrach Hirutei, V'yamlich Malchutei, B'chayechon, V'yomechon, V'chayeda Chol Beit Yisrael, B'agalav Ezman Kariv Yimru Amen, Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach, Le'olam Olmei Almaya, Yit Barach, V'yishtabach, V'yit Pa'ar, V'yitramam, V'yitnasei, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shmei Dekusha, B'richu, Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, damiram bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlom araba min shemaya v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, Amen.
Our challah tonight is sponsored by the Polis family in honor of Jordan Vogel becoming a bat mitzvah. If you pay close attention, you may have noticed we were missing a Torah from our ark. It actually made me panic a little bit because it's the 500-year-old Torah, but then I remembered it's at their house because we're having a Havdalah service tomorrow. So we celebrate Jordan and this simcha in her life. And this is, I don't know if you know much, I was reading up about the Schlissel challah. You know much about that?
I know about the TV show Stitzel.
Different.
Different.
Yeah, no, different. So this Schlissel challah, this one is not made in the shape of a key, but I wanted to, in case you are eating one in the shape of a key tonight. So it's minhag, so it's a custom in some places for people to bake a challah in the shape of a key or put a key inside the challah for someone to find on the Shabbat after Passover as a way of unlocking the gates of heaven in the year to come. So,
I like that.
Isn't that cool?
They find it before they bite down, though, right?
I don't know. Like, don't swallow the key. So there's no key in this
There's
one.
no key.
It came from a bakery. But maybe for next year, we can have a Schlissel challah of our own.
That's
So
right.
I'd rather the one in the shape of a key versus potentially eating a key, but we'll see. It's kind of like those people who
All right.
propose with their
Well,
with the
we're
wedding
ahead of
ring.
ourselves. We have the Kiddush.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So here we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen.
We do need blessing. We have to send bell.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. I didn't get the key. Maybe next year.
We got to get some to Dell.
All right. So as Rabbi is giving some challah to Del, we want to thank him for being here. I asked if his wife was really excited to say goodbye as he walked out the door today, because it's been quite a while since he's been able to be here. So we're very happy that you're here, and I'm sure Marlene is happy to have a quiet night on her own as well. And we want to thank Ricky on the piano, as always. An amazing job we have. We're so lucky to have an accompanist like him. And we want to thank Heather on the live stream and helping us out with sound and tech, and also Alex for the sound. And I want to thank my teacher, Dr. Hochman, for joining us on the Bima tonight in the beginning as well, and my colleague, Rabbi Axelrod.
Thank you for joining me on a very special presentation of a powerful story. Thank you.
Definitely. All right, so for the final song.
Yeah, no, final song.
Okay. Oh, and just don't forget, pretend you're going to the Grammys or the Academy Awards next Sunday night at 6. Plan a nice dinner at home where you can welcome your family or your friends into your home and to turn on your TV and join us for Synagogue to Senate, because it is going to be a really special experience to celebrate Senator Rosen, who was an amazing president to us, and just to celebrate our congregation. So please plan on that.
That'll be Sunday at
6 p.m. the 18th, not this Sunday, not in 2 days, but a week from this Sunday.
All right.
All right, and then the piece that I chose is our final piece. Normally we'll do an Oseh Shalom and Keloheinu Adon Olam, but I thought we had such a powerful Devar Torah tonight, such a powerful story, and we've been remembering the Holocaust all week long. And now we transition into our celebration and our memorial for Israel. So I thought a song about peace, a song about Jerusalem, was fitting for our closing song tonight. This is by my friend Cantor Marcia Atty. Pray for well-being, O Jerusalem. May all those who love you be at peace. For you are a light that shines upon the world. My heart turns to you to pray for peace. Shalom, shalom, Yerushalayim. ישליו אוהבייך. שלום שלום ירושלים ישליו אוהבייך. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Good Shabbos.